Welcome to the Latah Valley Fiber Co. podcast. My name is Tiffani. It is almost the end of April, so I have a few things to show you, some finished objects as well as some whips, and I'd also like to do a book review on a sock pattern book that I discovered, and I've decided to knit the rest of my husband's Advent socks from this book. So if that interests you, let's get started. First of all, you can find me on Instagram at Latah Valley Fiber Co. You can shop my store at latahvalleyfiberco.etsy.com. And if you want to direct message me, you can do that lvfiberco@gmail.com. So let's get started with some finished objects because I actually have several. The first one is a pair of socks. And these are the first April socks for my husband. Let's see here. I have my little cheat sheet to keep track of it all. Okay. Oh, yes. This pattern is by Patons Kroy sock, and it's the graphic chevrons. I did use my own hand-dyed yarn, which is the Twisted Copper colorway, and it's in fingering weight. I used US needle size 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter. I did these on DPNs consecutively, 2 at a time. And then I started March 19th and I finished April 13th. So these kind of have a long list of issues that I had with it. Most of it is the construction. So here you go. I have 2 of them. And I loved this patterning here. But if you watched last week's episode, you will have seen that the construction is a little funny in the sense that you start up here and you knit the patterning. But then when you get to the heel, which you do last, well, almost last, there's a part where you just knit the top and then the top of the toe, and then you hold 16 stitches at the end. Then you pick up over here and you do the heel. So this is the heel flap, the turn, and then the gusset. And then you knit this to the toe, and then you seam it together. I didn't care for that construction. But I did like this. So I'll probably repeat this and then just do a normal heel toe or heel flap, gusset, and then toe. So I'm interested to see if it bothers my husband, this seam. I can feel it, but it runs along the side of your foot, so maybe he won't notice too much. Let's see. I think that's it. They're finished. They're done. So the first pair of April socks, this is 7 of 24 for my husband's Advent. So that's my first finished object. Okay, my second finished is actually, they're the same pattern. It's the Sophie scarf. The yarn I'm using, so the Sophie scarf is from Petite Knit. The yarn I'm using is the Christmas Advent 2023 from Knitty McPurly. And the first is the blue and grays that I kind of color blocked together. And then the second is more of a stripe. Oop, did not have this rolled up as neatly. So hold on. There we go. So there you go. This one, the blue and gray, I started this I think I was partway through this, was almost done, and then going to add this. So I was pretty close to being done. I started this one on March 29th, and I finished it on April 14th. It came out color blocked, which is not my favorite, but I'll probably just gift it anyway. So, or maybe I'll keep it. You never know. These are my colors. I do like these, especially the gray. So, the needles I used were 3.5 millimeter, and I did the same actually for this one. So I started down here with just this little bit of purple. I actually did better because I weighed the yarn. So I just made a ball of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this had 8. 10-gram mini skeins, all, yeah. So I just started with one. Oh, let me get to this one. Same needle size, 3.5. And then the total weight of yarn was 2.5 ounces. So I used half. I started out at this end and did purple for a little bit. And then I added the white, which has a little bit of pink in it. And then just, I ran out, so I added in this darker pink. And then the white based one faded out. Well, actually there were two that were pretty close in color, so that's in this section basically. So I think with the large Sophie scarf, you increase to 33 stitches and then you start decreasing. Well, I just went to half my yarn, so it's a little bit bigger than the blue and gray one, but not by much. So I love these colors. This is vibrant and bright, which is just what you need in the winter when it's cold and gray, especially here in Eastern Washington. There's a lot of gray in the winter. Okay, so that's my Sophie scarves finished objects. Oh, the pink one I started, the pink and purple, I started April 17th and I finished April 19th. So actually it works out pretty good. I kind of focused on that quite a bit actually instead of my socks. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I have to say about those, I think. So let's move on to John's second socks. Let's see, are those in this? Might be in this bag. Yep. Okay, so this would be the 8th pair. Oh, on the Sophie scarf, I've knit 3 of those this year. Oh no, 4. The pink one was the 4th. Okay. For John's next pair of socks, these are his April socks. His second set of April socks. So I cast this on April 3rd, and I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn. It's called Easy on Me. I'm using US 2 needle, and that's a 2.75 millimeter. I did cast on 2 at a time, and I started out, they were on this circular set of needles here, but it just got too much, so I separated them. I kept one on the circular and one on DPNs. I did toe up, as you can see, and I started the gusset increases at 6 inches, which fit my husband perfectly. And then I did a heel flap and gusset there. So I just finished the heel on this one. And so I haven't started knitting the leg part, but I have on this one. So I need to catch that one up. I turn the heel here, and then I started just a ribbed pattern across the leg up to the cuff, which I haven't started the cuff yet. Not quite there yet, I don't think. Maybe 2 more inches. But I'm just doing, it's not well, I'm sure someone has written a pattern. It's a ribbing, so it's a knit 3, purl 1, just around. I am at 68 stitches around. When I get to the cuff, I'm going to increase 4 stitches to 72 and then do the cuff. That way I'm sure that it'll fit around my husband's heel. Now this yarn is, again, Latah Valley Fiber Co. yarn. Easy on me. The percentage is 80% wool and then 20% nylon. So it actually has a really soft feel to it. My husband raised a concern. He said it almost feels too soft, like there's not enough nylon and he might wear through them quicker. So I guess I'll have to find out. My other yarn is 75-25, so the nylon content is more, and it's a little more rough. This is soft and plushy. This is a bit more rough. So that must be the nylon in there. So those could be more durable than this purple one. So I am running out of time to get these done in April, so I have a couple more days. I should be able to work on them. I have a conference at the church that I attend this weekend, so we'll see if I can get them done. Okay, so that is my first work in progress. Let's talk about the Ginny cardigan by Andrea Mowry. Okay, I am holding it in this purple bag that I sewed myself, and I am using my own hand-dyed yarn. Here we go. I don't have a colorway name for this yet. I would love to carry it in my shop. It is a wonderful, this is on my DK base. And I'm using US 8, which is a 5mm needle. Actually, that's what I started with. I knit like 3 inches. That's what I got gauge with. I knit 3 inches and then I didn't like the fabric, so I just switched needles. I figured the collar is going to cover that anyway, so no big deal. So I'm on 4mm needle size. Then when you do the ribbing and the collar, you drop down to a 3.5, I think. Actually, I didn't write that down. Let me look. 3.75. Okay. So I am on the collar, and it's going to be a little hard to show you because it's all, there you go. It's kind of tight around, but you get the general idea. I'm at the back shoulder area here. There we go. So, I'm excited. It's, the collar, I have to knit 3 inches of the collar. So I'm about probably 2 inches in. So 1 more inch to go, and then I can bind off and pick up for sleeves. So I'm really excited for this one because I love a good cardigan. It's very nice. The collar is going to be great and cozy. So, oh, this is what it looks like from the back. Obviously the collar up here will drape over, but yeah. So that's the Ginny from Andrea Mowry. I'm kind of, I did have some issues with this. When I picked up along the collar 3 times because I couldn't get the stitch count with the formula that she was using. So she wanted you to pick up 2 for every 3 stitches and then 3 for every 4 stitches. So I tried doing that to get to the stitch count that I needed for the size I was knitting, which is a large. And I couldn't get the stitch that I was like 40 off. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go through and pick up every stitch. I still couldn't get, that was like 20. I was still 20 off. So I ended up just picking up every stitch. So that put me at the medium size, which I think it'll be okay. I hope. Maybe it'll block out. We'll see. So, yeah. Oh, and then on the collar, because I was off the amount of stitches, I just repeated the short rows that were on the back 42 times instead of 47. So we'll see if that kind of works out. I worked it out in my head and just kind of looked at the diagram that she had, and you know, it's handmade. It'll be great either way. So long as it fits, I don't care about that stuff, the collar part. Okay, so that's my second whip. Let's talk about my third work in progress, which is the See My Vest by Emily Bolduan. And I started this one March 11th. So I kind of pick it up off and on because if you've watched my previous vlogs, it turns my hands blue and I get a little tired of that. So then I move on to something else. So I thought in the last vlog that I would for sure have it done. Well, no. I've knit quite a bit on it, but I'm not quite to the ribbing on the bottom. So let me show you that one. Okay, this one I'm holding in an old bag that I made a number of years ago. And oh boy. So I am almost, this is the last ball. This is hand spun and then dyed by yours truly. And this is all I have left. So I might be done sooner than I thought, just based off of if I have enough yarn. Oh, I'm dropping a stitch. Just pick that up real quick. It's knit stitching, so, or stockinette stitch, so it's pretty easy to do. Okay. Let's see, where's the front? I think this is the front. It's kind of bunched at the bottom, but there you go. So I am at, I don't know how many inches that is. Maybe 6. maybe 5 inches. Yeah, maybe 5. I think you're supposed to go to 11 centimeters. So I'm getting close. I may have to cut it short, although I would almost rather do something different at the collar and the sleeve area than have a short shirt, a short vest. So, I might have to think that through. I didn't realize I was almost at the end of that second ball, or third actually. Okay, so I've knit from the last vlog. I've knit, that much. I think it was only 2 inches. So I've actually got quite a ways on it, but yeah, okay, that's it. Not much progress on that one. I haven't even made it to the ribbing yet, which once I get there, I'm almost done, because then I just have the collar and the arm sleeves to do. So here you go. Okay, so that's the See My Vest by Emily Bolduan. The next thing I have to show you is my temperature blanket. This is where I'm at. I am caught up, so that's good. I had gotten a couple days, like 8 days behind for some reason. Not quite sure why. A busy time, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so this is the temperature blanket by Handy Little Me, and I am doing this with a friend as well as my husband. My husband is 4 months behind. My friend is spot on to the day. She is doing 2024. I am doing 2013's weather. And let's see. This is where I was at last time. So these are the colors I've kind of moved into. More of a cream and gray. So the warmer colors are kind of a fun shift. It had been these are the colder colors. These greens and kind of a yellowy green and then brown. So now that it's moving into this palette here, it's kind of fun. This temperature here is really warm. So this is April 1st, and it was really warm that year on that day. And then it cooled down again. So, yeah, this blanket is a lot of fun. It's super warm. I think I mentioned in the last vlog that I knit it in the morning with my first cup of coffee because it's a little chillier in the house. And it's big enough that it lays on my lap and down my legs. So this is going to be a nice warm blanket for the future. I'm excited to have it finished. Well, I do like the process actually of knitting it. I love the pattern, kind of this wavy chevron-y pattern. So it's fun to knit, it's warm, it's cozy, and even when I get behind, I don't actually mind that too much because it's pretty quick and easy to catch up. Let's see, anything else on that? No. We are moving into warmer temperatures. The next several days are in the 70s, and then a couple days in the 60s, and then 50s again. So I'll be switching to different colors here shortly. And then in May, it starts out at 70, and then all of a sudden it's into the 80s. So I'm going to have a whole new color the next time I vlog. So that'll be fun. You can watch for that. I don't actually know what the color is. My guess is it's this maroon color it will come in. That was probably a 7-day, I think. So, oh yeah. So, this maroon is 71 to 75 degrees. So that will definitely, you'll see more of that the next time I post an episode. All right, quick drink of water here. That's it for works in progress. I do want to talk to you about a book that I got in the mail. I've been watching this vlogger for a couple weeks, and you probably all know her. I didn't until one of her vlogs came up, I think when I was I Googled, or I typed into YouTube, I needed help with something sock related, and one of her vlogs came up. So I watched it and I was like, oh, but she's got a lot of good information. Well, it turns out she just released a book. So a lot of you probably can guess the book. The Sock Project by Summer Lee Designs. And her name is Summer. And this book, it was a really good deal. I don't know how she's making a living. So, anyway, besides that, well, because you get 25 sock patterns in this book for not very much money. And that's crazy when you think that you can buy individual sock patterns and they're like anywhere from $5 to $10 per sock pattern. So I am going to knit the rest of John's socks for his Advent out of Summer's book. And she does a lot of bright colors, which I think is great. If you watched a couple episodes back, you will have seen that I knit John a pair of bright pink socks. So I think that fits with this aesthetic quite a bit. And this is his next set of socks for May, his May 1st socks that I'll be casting on, I hope before May, but it'll probably be May 1st, which is next Wednesday. Okay, so I haven't decided which pattern yet, but I am leaning towards, so one thing about Summer's book is she talks about the construction of the sock. She gives you multiple options on toe, on heel. She has in here is it the Flegel heel? Sorry, the Flegel heel, which I've never done that one before, so that interested me because, as you all know, I'm knitting these socks for my husband, and one of the goals is I wanted to learn new techniques and tricks to kind of further my education for knitting. So there is a section in here on just the heel construction, which is great. And then one thing that I was watching her vlog on how she created the book. She did all of the artwork. Wow, it's amazing. Look at that. I think that's great. She gets her hands in there. It's wonderful. I'm not very good at the artwork. I could be a lot better. Oh, and she also talked about the sizing. I didn't realize that you're supposed to measure around your instep. Is that what it is? Up by your toes to figure out if you're a small, medium, large, or extra large. That would help in knowing if you needed 58 stitches or 52 stitches around or 72 like my husband. So my guess is he's an extra large foot circumference. So anyway, that was pretty cool. She talks about the basic sock. And let's see. Oh, she also has different cuffs that you can cast on as well and start with. I think generally, from watching her vlogs, I think generally she is cuffed down, which that's not me normally. But I've done a few in this whole process of knitting John the Advent socks. I've done a few that were cuffed down, and actually they weren't that bad. So once you kind of have the tools. So with this is my own hand-dyed yarn. This is the 75-25 sock base, and then this is the 80-20. So I was planning to do the cuff with that, and maybe a couple stripes down the leg, and then do the rest in this. So I did find in here, she had a pattern that was similar to that. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh yeah. Oh, she even does a sock fade. That would be really fun. She does rib socks. Well, it's kind of this idea right here where you do striping, but I would do the cuff, and then I would knit several rounds of the red color, and then I would do these two stripes in the middle of the leg with this. That's what I'm thinking. She also has several pearl and slip stitch detailed socks. She has some cabled socks. The Soma socks are cabled, have a cable on the side, and then a pattern in the middle of the foot, and it looks like some ribbing. So that would be fun to do. So I'm thrilled with this book by Summer Lee. It has 25 patterns, 5 different heels, cuff down socks, toe up socks, tips on sizing and fit. So I'm really excited to use this as my resource for all the socks from here on out. They're going to come out of this book. So look for that in the future. This will be my first pair in May. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I hope John is too. I know he is. He'll love it. He's very appreciative of all the hand knit socks that are coming his way in December. So that's exciting. All right, I think that's it for me here until May. I will come back to you in 2 weeks. I hope you are all enjoying spring wherever you're at, and getting some good crafting in. So I will see you next time. Happy knitting.